How nice is it doing a press conference at 4 p.m? I know. Normally it's 4 a.m. So great night, great day today at the Cosmo. Of course, Conor Benn coming through 12 rounds against the tough Pete Dobson, 23-0 now. It's been a great experience in Las Vegas. We're going to open to the floor for questions from everybody.
Conor, your father Nigel fought a friend of mine, Stanley Williams, back in the day. And Stanley was a very slick boxer. I'm not sure if you ever saw that fight.
I haven't seen that fight, no.
Your dad lost or won a split decision from Stanley. But your opponent today reminded me a lot of him. Very hard to look good against, very defensive-minded. And how hard is it to fight a guy who's so defensive-minded?
It's not even as if he was defensive-minded. It was like he didn't want to engage. He didn't commit to any shots. You know, he was tough, but I think that's all there was to tonight. You know, a few mistakes my end that I made, but you know, we'll adjust, go back to the drawing board, change it. You know, I was happy with my performance as a whole. You know, when I shot, I didn't miss. I let my hands go. Too much pulling back. You know, like minor things like that that me and my team will work on. But apart from that, I mean, there wasn't really much to it. I've had harder spars than tonight. I was very disappointed, you know, giving it I'm a dog, you know, I'm from the Bronx, you heard, and all that talk, and then coming out and didn't engage. You know, it's hard to get the knockout when you try and draw someone into a fight, and there was nothing coming back. But thank you.
How was it going 12 rounds?
I mean, how did it look? You know, it was, yeah, I'm a little bit over the moon that I've done 12 rounds, because you always wonder, it's always in the back of your head, no matter how hard you train, whether you can actually do the 12 rounds. I know you can do 10, if you can do 10, you can do 12, but, you know, for me it was, I mean, it was really easy work tonight. You know, it was this morning. Yeah, it was easy work, really.
Conor, after the fight, Haney was on Twitter. Someone's asking him, where did Benn's power go? He says he left it in the needle. I know Eddie said he'd even be willing to discuss making that fight.
Yeah, what the fuck's he talking about? He ain't knocked no one out in his last 15 fights. What's he talking about, power? He's never had power. Oh, my DNA's strong. Don't worry about that. I'm fresh out of my dad. You know, so when you want to talk about power, he's just jealous because he's never had none. You know, if he wants to come find out about the power, I'll more than happily show him.
Would you be open to that fight? You
know, he can get it next. He's been very vocal. You know, his dad's shown a lot of respect, Bill Haney, a lot of class. You know, but he needs to teach his little kids some manners, some lessons. You know, so if he wants to come, I'll deal with him, no problem. He's easy work.
In the United States as
well? I'll fight him wherever. You know, I'm doing a little American tour at the moment, so, you know, I'll fight him wherever. You know, he's got quick hands, he's got fast feet, he's athletic. Not more than me. You know, if he wants to talk about power, he's never had none. You know, people go to sleep when they watch Haney fight. Even when I go 10 rounds, even when I go 12 rounds, people are on the edge of their seats. Not like his. I don't think I've ever seen a Haney fight. I'll tell a lie. I was at one of his fights, and that's because one of my friends were fighting on the undercard. That's it. Be skeptical. You keep saying this.
Yes.
People will always be skeptical, irrelevant of, you know, whatever outcome. You know, I've been cleared twice. No doubt I'll be cleared again. What then? Are people still going to be skeptical? You keep saying that. People will always be skeptical, and that's completely fine. It's something that I've had to accept. And, you know, as much as it breaks my heart, it's unfortunate, and that's just one thing that I've got to deal with now. You know, so, but apart from that, I'm a hell of a fighter. You know, do 12 rounds easy, no problem. Skill set's there, power's there, agility, athleticism, you know, dedication, mindset, it's all there. You know, so that's what that showed tonight. I could do 12 rounds easy, no problem. I'll do 12 rounds in my sleep. I'll piss that.
Conor, that 12 round, you seemed like you wanted to get him out of it. Obviously, you were very aggressive. Just walk me through that final round. Was that the key?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, listen, that's always the plan, isn't it? You know, I go into every fight with the intention of breaking them down, breaking their spirit and knocking them out. You know, but it's hard to fight with someone who actually don't think they can win the fight anyway. You know, they come in there to survive. You know, he was like a journeyman. You know, decent. He was all right journeyman. He didn't engage. He didn't really throw. The only time he come was when I made silly mistakes. Apart from that, it was, you know, it was a one-sided beatdown. And these ain't the fights I want. They're not the fights that get me going. They're not the fights that, You know, you don't go from selling out mega shows, mega stadium, to then fighting a Peter Dobson and expect there to be a knockout when he's just coming in there to survive. That's all there was tonight. You know, I honestly thought, you know, giving it all the talk from the Bronx, I'm a dog, out the mud, and he comes in and runs around for 12. Not even runs around, he just didn't do anything. You know, so a bit disappointed in that, as I was expecting a fight, and therefore, you know, you make them miss, you make them pay. I was just dishing out the paying today. I'm broke.
It looks like we're not going to get that, that rematch between Crawford and Spence. We don't know what Crawford's going to do with, with the three belts he has. If you had to pick one of those belts, which one would you like to fight for?
I'll fight for anyone, man. Preferably, if we can go Barrios next for the WBC interim, that would be my choice. Obviously, you got the Errol Spence-Crawford fight. I don't know what's happening with that. I'm not here to waste time and wait around for anyone. I've wasted enough, not wasted, but I've had enough time out of the ring. For me, I just want to get out there, get back out. Like I said to the team, I'm ready to go April. Like when I'm ready to go April, let's go. I want to make up for lost time. You know, I ain't getting any, I'm only 27, but I ain't getting any younger. Let's go. Give me the big fights. Let me continue to prove myself. People say you can't do 12 rounds at the pace you fight. Of course I can do 12 rounds. Easy. I'm a 15-round fighter. And that's how we prepare diligently hard in the sim stable, the Matchroom sim stable. So 15 rounds, no problem, easy work.
Do you have a message in Spanish from our bars who's watching us?
Soy listo. Soy listo para la pelea. Cuando tú lo quieres, estoy aquí. Llámame.
Conor, what were the adjustments you made tonight? You got off, won the first three. He did solid in 4 and 5, and then you took it back over. What were the adjustments made to take control of the fight?
It was like sparring, man. You know, it was like there wasn't really much in it. There wasn't like really much adjusting apart from just me doing what I wanted to do in there. There was no respect in there. It was, you know, it was very one-sided. As soon as he shaped up and started moving around the ring, I was just like, I get annoyed because it's like, is this what you're bringing then? Is this what I got to do for 12 rounds? The only thrilling parts was when I was throwing punches. You know, there weren't much else to it. So, yeah, very disappointed when people talk the talk but don't back up the talk. You know, even as I said, even when I go 10 rounds, even when I go 12 rounds, I'm always ready to have it out if they want it.
Did any of the shots he landed on you, was you and vice versa? Do you feel like any of the shots you landed didn't hurt him?
No, I mean, he threw some good shots. You know, landed a few right hands that was a silly mistake for me for pulling back. But you know, at each fight, you learn and you grow from. You make mistakes that you haven't made previously, or you know, you fight people with different styles. So yeah, I'll just go back and work on the silly little mistakes that I made that enabled him to land his right hand. I think taking myself to the right of him, to the left, myself to the way out of his right hand, you know, it become an easy, nice work then.
Tony, do you feel the same way? Do you feel like there were silly little mistakes, as Conor was saying in his performance?
There's always things you've got to work on, and depending on the opponent and what the opponent does. He was very defensive-minded, and he was quite difficult to land clean on. So, you know, there's always stuff that you got to work on. It's good to have fights like this, to look at the fight, rerun it back, and then just work on little minor adjustments, really. But I thought it was good for Conor to get the 12 rounds under his belt tonight.
And just by magic, Bill Haney's turned up. Bill, how are you?
Player in the game, so I want to come over here and tell you congratulations, and you know, maybe we can do something.
So you know I'm keen for that fight. So you know I'm keen for that fight.
Oh. Listen, all due respect, brother.
No, all respect. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, I'm ready to go. Yeah, no,
respect to you and your family. You guys are legends in the sport, and of course it will be an honor and a pleasure if that time presents itself. And you know what I mean. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for inviting.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you. He is what he is, and I am what I am. You know, and I'm a proper fighter. You know, I come for it. I always deliver. Always intend. Don't make up excuses. If I've had a bad night, I've had a bad night. If I've had a good night, I've had a good night. I am what I am, and what you see is what you get.
Well, he's not. When you say he's a PBC welterweight, he's not under contract with the PBC, so he's a free agent. But there is talks about a Boots Ennis fight for him. So what we got to do is we got to pay him more money than he'd be getting to fight Boots Ennis, because I think Conor's one of the best welterweights in the world, but Boots Ennis is a very, very good welterweight also. So if Barros thinks that Conor might be an easier fight, maybe he'll take that fight. But he's just an example of the names that we need, to address. I've done a couple of interviews 10 minutes ago where I said tonight is the last time I talk about Chris Eubank Jr., right? Until he signs a contract. Until then, I'm not talking about it anymore, because I actually can't understand why this guy, he called him an idiot. You're either an idiot or you're scared. Because people keep talking about Chris Eubank Jr. He shouldn't be made to make 160. He's a 160-pounder. What about Conor Benn coming up 2 divisions to fight a middleweight? So when you talk about the legacy of British boxing, Eubank against Benn, unfortunately, the Eubank side never gave Nigel Benn the 3rd fight after a very questionable 2nd fight. We mustn't lose out on this fight. But I just when you're getting 3 times as much money to fight another middleweight or a big name, and you're still refusing to fight Conor Benn, you're either stupid or you're scared. So I'm not sure which one it is, but after tonight...
He's an idiot.
Not scared?
No, he's an idiot.
So that's it. After tonight, I'm never mentioning it again until the fight ever gets made. But I'm not... Even our own broadcasters saying, Eddie, can you please just stop trying to make the Eubank fight? This guy obviously has something, nightmares or...
What's worse, being scared or being an idiot? Which one?
Being an idiot.
I don't think he's scared. I think he's a tough kid. But how can you not have a sensible conversation? Imagine like Dana White said to me tonight, loved the night, loved your performance as well. He's like, imagine being in a world where you can just say, right, you are fighting you in March. I'll see you there. Like, when I explain that kind of situation to Dana White, he looks at me like, well, I don't want to work in boxing. Imagine you getting 2 or 3 million to fight Janibek or something like that, or actually much less to fight Janibek. Or you're getting more than 3 times that to fight a welterweight that you'll probably watch tonight and go, I'll beat him easy. I reckon he thinks he could beat you easy.
Oh, I don't know what he thinks, because he's an idiot.
And that is it. That's the end, the last time ever, until we make the fight. Yes, Cynthia.
Conor, you made your rounds here in Vegas, in Viva Las Vegas. How was your debut? And also for Dana White to be sitting and Amir Khan here. It's not the UK, but it's Vegas.
Yeah, you had Cody Gabran, Jimmy here, Katie Taylor, Leonares, Amir Khan, etc. So, for me, it's Dana White. It's a blessing, man. I felt like fighting in Sin City, in Vegas. It's a dream. It's every young man's dream. It's every fighter's dream. To not only fight in Vegas, but to be headlining and have these celebrities turn out to come and watch you fight. It's overwhelming. I looked at it earlier and I was just like, yeah, people come to know what they're getting. People know what they're coming to see, and I make sure they don't leave disappointed. I make sure that people go, yeah, that was a good fight. He was a tough guy. And that's how I always want it to be. If it goes 12 rounds, I want people to go, he was a tough guy. It was nothing to do with anything else apart from, damn, he took some shots. And if they take him, you're not going to knock everyone out. And that's fine. But, I'm always about putting on exciting fights.
Do you think with Dana White, obviously in boxing with Tom Loeffler, do you guys think that you'd start working with him in boxing? Eddie, Conor?
What, is it me getting kneed in the head?
Yeah.
I'm good, thanks.
I just think Dana would find boxing so frustrating. Because honestly, it's so frustrating. I go back to the person I'm not talking about anymore. But it's just I just bang my head on the table. And I think he likes to be able to, and he's always been very courteous to myself and the team. And thank you for him allowing Tony and his boys to train at the UFC Centre this week, which is just a facility that we would die for in boxing. They are the levels. Like Conor looks up to, although he wants to fight them, but the Crawfords of this world, I look up to Dana and the UFC as a business and promote. It's an amazing business, but they do have the ability, which we're very jealous of, to just say, you versus you on that date. Goodbye. And I wish we had that in boxing, but that's one of the problems in the sport. A couple more, guys.
Eddie, Coach, and Ben, how much more of the Conor Benn U.S. tour do we have before possibly going back home overseas?
Do you know what? I feel very welcomed over here, and I say that from my heart. You know, you guys have really welcomed me in everywhere I've been, everywhere I've gone, every gym I've gone to, the people, even the turnout today. You know, I'm overwhelmed by the support I have over here. I know the Ben name is familiar over here. All the world titles are over here. So you can sort of call this my second home, unless Eddie has other plans.
Yeah, for me, you know, we came here really because of the situation. Every fighter hopes that after they've conquered their own country, you can finally fight in America. Well, that was actually Conor's third fight in America. You boxed in
New York, Orlando.
and now Vegas. I mean, actually, it's been a blessing. And this is actually the first UK fighter I've ever had headline in Las Vegas. You know? So we've had some smaller fights like Canelo Golovkin and Canelo Bivol. But you know, in all seriousness, I've never had a UK fighter headline here. So that's great for us. And like I said, this happened because of a situation that you also have to remember that every time Conor Benn fights, it's on the shoulders, there's questions, it's hanging over us, there's another appeal, someone else is appealing. And once that's cleared, which is in a couple of weeks' time, you're going to see a different fighter, a different mindset, and we want to return to the UK next. You know, we'll be back here for sure, but I want to see him fill up an arena in the UK, which he can do very easily. Last one, guys, have we got one more?
3 years ago here in Vegas, I asked you about potential fights and guys want to fight. You mentioned Rivalries back then as a guy you wanted to fight. How do you think about that fight these days?
How do I feel about the fight with Virgil Ortiz? Yeah, of course. Listen, as a boxer, as a young boxer, you want to fight the best. You feel like you've got something to prove. And, you know, I want to prove I'm the best. Again, I've used the example of when Virgil Ortiz fought Samuel Vargas just before I did. You know, I'd done exactly the same thing, if not better. You know, you're talking then when Ennis fought Van Herden, I'd done exactly the same thing, but better. You know, when Formella fought Sean Porter, I'd done the same thing. You know, so people don't want to put me up there with these guys, but the reality is that's where I belong, and I'll continue to prove it. If they aren't getting knocked out in you know, 1 to 4 rounds, they're getting beaten for the 12th. And that's how I prepare. So, you know, I want to prove myself. You know, and that's just me being young and ambitious and hungry, and you know, have that drive to fight the best. And people say he's the future pound for pounder, Ennis future pound for pounder. No problem. Then we can run it.
I don't know if you saw the new rankings, the Adrian Broner is in the WTA rankings. Would you want to put the Don King?
Blimey. I don't know. I mean, we're just getting over Chris Eubank Jr. Now we've got to go on to Don King. I mean, yeah, but look, Broner's always a guy that his name, you know, Bill was talking to Bill Haney the other day about Adrian Broner. Yeah, maybe. But obviously, look, outside of other fights that we won't talk about anymore, really the aim is for Conor Benn to become a welterweight world champion. The Broner fight, good name and everything, doesn't really position us to do that. So, you know, but who knows? Who knows? We never rule out Mr. Broner. He's good fun. Not sure he'd make 147 pounds though.
Eddie, you said you want Conor in the UK next. If it's not Eubank, what sort of name?
I like Liam Smith. I like Kell Brook. But it doesn't have to be a Brit. I mean, we can bring over a Brit. You know, don't forget he's having to go to Orlando, to Las Vegas. I mean, today he had to box at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, we started the show at 10 a.m. And the reason we did it for Conor Benn. Because where he's getting frozen out, we've had to ourselves invest, do something different. We must have in prime time for a UK audience, which we did tonight. So thank you for everyone for coming at an unusual hour, and I really enjoyed it, actually. It's nice to be able to throw home, yeah. We could all actually have a social life. You know, you can go home to your families and have some dinner tonight, and maybe this is a thing for the future. We did it without even realising. So thank you for all attending and your support this week, and we look forward to some big announcements for Conor Benn in the coming weeks. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.